Today we are going to be breaking down one of my favorite poses, Trikonasana, or triangle pose. Triangle pose is a grounded standing pose and offers us so many great qualities and experiences. It offers us stability not only in our core but in our spinal column. It offers us opening in our hamstrings and other areas of the body. It stimulates the internal digestive organs, and it helps to release those areas in our body where we get stressed, stuck. So let's talk a little more about triangle and then we'll break it down. When it comes to enjoyment of practicing triangle pose, there is a key element to consider that comes at the intersection of the relationship found between the pelvis and your spinal column. And this intersection and this important relationship will open up great freedom for you as you practice this pose. So a couple of considerations here is that we want to be sure that we're not cueing to be between, flattening our bodies between panes of glass. We actually want to shatter those panes of glass when it comes to this cue of this particular pose so that we can experience that wonderful freedom to be found in triangle pose. A few more considerations here when practicing triangle pose is to stay in anatomical reality rather than restrictive cues such as wedging ourselves or flattening ourselves. Realistically, there are no flat lines in the body. So in this pose, it's the hip movement that is key, and actually want to move the acetabulum, which is the hip joint, over the top of the femur bone so that we're actually finding this fluid movement and freedom in that hip space. So be mindful of that, and in the variations we're getting ready to break down, you'll see where this is very key and a consideration so that you'll enjoy practicing triangle. We will be exploring 3 variations today using the 3P pose principles. We will position, we will proportion, and we will presence ourselves in 3 different variations of triangle pose. The first variation we're going to explore is limited mobility, and we'll use the wall for this variation. And the key here is position. Not only you positioning yourself at the wall, but your foot position as well as your pelvis, how it is positioned. So you'll take yourself to the wall and you'll position about medium-sized stance of your feet. Your front foot will be directionally forward with the knee tracking in the same direction. Now turn the foot out just a little more than 90 degrees. Here's where the pelvis comes in, and understanding that your pelvis is this bony ring likened to a bowl. It does not open up like a book. When you position or move one side of your pelvis, the other side will naturally, in congruency, move with it. So you're not opening up, you're not wedging yourself in this position. So you're using the wall for support. The back foot angles in a little bit, and like I said, naturally the front pelvis will turn out in an external rotation, and then the back part of the pelvis will naturally come in an internal rotation to be in congruency there. The wall's positioned there for you to take your chest and open up, position your shoulders back towards the wall for support, and then you're lifting up out of your spinal column. And here's where that hinge movement comes into the hip movement of this posture. Then the top hand's going to extend up, the bottom hand light touch on your thigh or possibly down on the shin, but not pressing down. You want to initiate this extension out and this upward lift through the top hand. Once you find that position, then check in with your breath and allow your breath to support you in this shape while the wall is supporting you at the same time. Stay a few rounds of breath and then gather into your strong center to lift yourself back up, reset. Consider coming back into the position again and experience triangle pose in this limited mobility position. In Variation B, we'll explore beginners and we'll use blocks to access this proportional aspect of this position and this variation. So consider a block, one block or two, and if you're using two, you'll position the top block on the highest level. The blocks go to the outside of your front foot. Now you're away from the wall on this position, and you'll be positioning your feet in the same way you did in the first variation, with that slight degree turnout, a little more than 90 degrees with the front foot. Back foot is positioned, and there's that natural movement of the pelvis and that hip joint flexion that we're seeking. You'll lift out of your pelvis, the spinal column, and start to extend forward and down, actually through the bottom hand. And this is where the hand comes to the block. Take your fingertips onto your block so that it will remind you to keep, although you're moving that bottom hand down, you're also extending and lifting through the top hand to keep the energy moving upward rather than down. Key here is to support instability. Find your breath. Find the breath that flows freely in this shape with this extension, and maintain that at the same time. Come up slowly the way you came in with integrity. Take a few breaths and then consider exploring this variation again. Now, this is important and a key aspect here, the position of your head. Keep your head positioned where you're looking straight ahead instead of turning the head to look up or to look down. In Variation C, Mixed Level, we'll explore the approach of presence in this shape so that you can glean all the energetic, grounded qualities of Triangle Pose and what this pose is offering to you. Same position of your feet as the last expression in Variation, and that slight 90 degree, more than 90 degree turn out of the front foot, strong groundedness in your legs, and then the ability to allow your pelvis to just naturally move in the natural, intuitive intelligence of your body. So strong legs, and then this upward lift through your spine, extending the arms out, and from the extension of your arms, you extend forward, and then your bottom hand will start to move down, and tint your fingers so that you can connect with the fingertips but still feel the quality of extending the energy up through the top hand. Very important is the position of your neck and your head, so your eyes are looking forward, not rotating and turning the head up or down. Key here is to let the groundedness, especially in the back foot, allow that positioning to let the back part of your pelvis come forward rather than trying to open up or wedge yourself between two panes of glass. Once you've found the connection of the bottom hand extending up through the top hand, there's this quality of the chest rotating open, and you're expanding out in all directions. Think about a star expanding and spreading out. Set your eyes, focus in on your breath, and capture and glean presence of what this posture is offering to you in this variation. Today we wrote down Triangle Pose. And key elements here to consider is that the goal is not for you to get your bottom hand to the mat. The goal in key consideration in this pose is to be grounded in strength at the same time, expansive and open at the same time. Reminder that your pelvis and your spinal column are integrated. They have a wonderful relationship together that we want to make sure we're moving in the harmony of that relationship, and always honoring that intersection and freedom that that movement provides us. If you are seeking other resources to support you in your yoga practice, then check out the description box below, and I'll look forward to connecting with you in the next video.